Things that you should keep in mind before you declare your major. One would be time commitment. Architecture requires a lot of hours in studio working on projects, especially in the beginning of the years. They do a lot of design foundation projects. Almost seems stupid to do. I am the type of person who hates when somebody wastes my time, and I would always feel like these fundamental projects were just a complete waste of time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It will take time before you can completely go off on your own. Also, this means you will have to make certain sacrifices. So a lot of my other friends who weren't in architecture school, they had a bunch of time to go out with friends on Friday nights, go to the movies, do normal people stuff, but I was stuck in studio actually working on my projects. This honestly sucked. There's really no other way for me to describe it. It just absolutely sucked. 2 would be the sleep schedule. Kind of coincides with the time commitment needed for architecture students. You don't sleep. We are, in fact, the most sleep deprived major, but if you're good at time management skills, you can definitely get around this and not have to pull an all-nighter. Pulling an all-nighter is kind of a cultural thing. It's just considered normal. Everyone does it. However, if you have good time management skills, you actually don't really need to pull one. If you really just plan your time out well, buy a planner, do whatever you need to do, you probably won't have to pull one. Me personally, I pulled 3 or 4 in 4 years of architecture school, but there's other people who pull them before review days for like 4 days straight. Number 3 would be the financial cost. Whether your school offers free plotting or not, it does cost money. At my school to print, I remember my first semester I printed like $200 worth of paper. I literally just ended up in the recycling bin. So printing costs a lot, but also model making. We would go to Blick or Michael's or any arts and crafts store just to buy Bristol board, chipboard, museum board to build all of our models. And then if you were building a model out of wood, that's just a lot of materials. You're going to Lowe's, Home Depot. It adds up a lot. The model that I made for the guy competition ended up costing us around $250. And guess where that model is? It is in the trash. Number 4 would be the odds and ends and accessories. So I own a DSLR. I remember I waitressed my ass off. Oh my God, I was just entering high school. My Nikon cost me, I think it was $750. There's unforeseen expenses that have become my crutch during my time in architecture school. You also need a pretty powerful computer. Chances are your school will provide you with the programs that you use at your university. You will need a decent laptop or desktop. I don't recommend using a Macintosh computer. That's a whole nother argument. Please don't fight me. 5 would be professional attire. I'm sure all majors need this eventually, but on review days, you are expected to present yourself pretty nicely. Number 6, it is very competitive. I don't understand why some people view everything like a competition. I mean, and I'm a competitive person, but I don't understand why all the reviews have to be viewed like a competition. So I guess it's up to you. If you want to associate with competitive folk in studio, then go for it. I'm not trying to talk down on them at all. That's not what I'm saying. At least in my experiences, there have been very competitive people and more passive people. Number 7, sometimes people talk down on your projects and it will take an emotional toll on you. So you really need to disassociate emotions with your project. I understand how time consuming and how much love, affection, and attention to detail that you put into your project. Everyone has a review where it doesn't go well after spending hours really not getting much sleep, always spending all your waking hours in studio while your friends are out grabbing beers. It is very disheartening and you may feel like you want to quit. This is the one thing that I absolutely hate about the major. You spend months preparing for a review. You have 5 minutes to present the project that you poured your blood, sweat, and tears in. You forgot to mention one aspect about the project and then the jury just roasts you. Number 8 would be the salary of an architect. In all honesty, the amount of work that we put in to get our bachelor's degree only to have to go to grad school just to get paid the starting salary that you get paid is kind of ridiculous. If you are really passionate about traveling, viewing architecture, experiencing art, and I would say architecture may be a really good path for you, but if you absolutely hate it, it's really not gonna pay off in a long run. I will say, like, my internship paid pretty well. I lost it because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So the internship paid well, but for my friends, even my brother in tech, it does not pay that well. You aren't going to be a starving, struggling artist, but you aren't going to be living like Jeff Bezos. I don't think anyone can live like Jeff Bezos. Just because I wish I knew these before I completely changed my major from industrial design to architecture. As I said in the beginning, it's a marathon, not a sprint.